I must say, y'all, that tonight I'm triggered, like severely triggered. So y'all pray for me while I do this video. Because I know there are thousands and thousands and thousands of black families, black moms, black dads that feel the way that I do. Big shout out to I call him my aunt Willie D. I know a lot of y'all be following him, Willie D Live, here on YouTube. My condolences to Nolan Wells' mom and dad for what happened to your son. I have been following Mr. Willie D's commentary on the case. And as I was watching a video today, I seen clips of the funeral where Reverend Al Sharpton called Benjamin Crump the Attorney General for black families all across America. And we'll come back to that point in a moment. I saw a video a couple hours ago where the chief medical examiner of Mississippi has stated, or it has been said allegedly, that she or the county or state of Mississippi, county of Jackson, does not provide autopsies for people who, or drowning victims, where there is no foul play, where it's accidental drowning, where there's nothing suspicious, which is another point that I'll come to. Now, I don't know if she's trying to get out of giving her findings on the autopsy because the Wells family has an independent examiner, which is more likely what it seems like she's doing to hide the fact that she's lied and not been as forthcoming with other autopsies of young black men that have been unalived under suspicious circumstances. I saw a video, well, parts of Willie D's video where there was a young man who, I guess, had encountered the police and the medical examiner that is on this case for Nolan Wells ruled his death undetermined. But when the picture flashed across the screen of the young man laying in the hospital, there's no way that you can say that his death was undetermined. 3 other separate pathologists stated that it should have been listed a homicide from internal injuries, brutal force. And from the photos, you can see that, like, there's no way on God's green earth that you could see a body in that condition and say it's undetermined. There's no way. I'm not even a medical examiner. I'm not a doctor. I'm not none of that. But from that photo, I can tell that that boy was beaten by those police. I was sharing with Willie D this afternoon as we began to converse, about this network that they have. I'm a victim of it, as my son lost his life at the hands of Denver police. They lied like they do. They covered like they do. They created a narrative like they do. That was false. I, on my own investigation, scientifically and medically disproved what they claim to have happened out there. Of course, they beat me to all the footage from any camera that would have captured the incident. I did my best to gather information. I've shared before that I contacted a pathologist, very well renowned, world renowned pathologist, that was going to do a second independent autopsy on my son. Because what they said didn't make sense. I know they shot my baby in the back. But the coroner, the DA, the police, they all got together. The coroner would not release the photos or the audio of the autopsy, so there could be no comparison of the evidence. I didn't have a Ben Crump or Al Sharpton or a YouTube community, even though I reached out. To have muscle behind me, all because my son had a gun, in which, if you look at the redacted version of the autopsy, none of it makes sense of what they tried to say. The evidence does not line up, even to the time of death and the cause of injury to my son. So if a coroner's report says that a body has a gunshot wound in a specific area, shouldn't there be a gunshot wound to that specific area? Well, it wasn't. My son was not a threat to the Denver police because his back was turned to him. However, the coroner lied and said my son had a gunshot wound to the torso, a gunshot wound to the chest. If you look at the body cam footage, my son has no frontal body wounds, which also dumbs down the story that he was a threat to them, because if you're a threat to them, you're facing them. So if you're facing them, then gunshot wounds should be on the front of you as listed on the coroner's report. But there was nothing there. Every time they showed my son, they kept moving the camera so we couldn't see the bullet holes in his back. Which is why I was telling, Uncle Willie D, Mr. Willie D, that I know the network. Honey, them judges and them, the DA and the police and the coroner, they all in cahoots with each other. And it's not okay. You guys were sworn to I think it's a Hippocratic oath. I can't remember the name of it. I did some medical school, but I know it's an oath that they have to take, that they are sworn to, that they are to abide by certain rules, by certain standards, by certain things, just like the police, just like the judges, just like all these other people. And they don't care nothing about that. They just trying to get a name for themselves and get a check. They could care less about these oaths and these duties that they are sworn to. Which brings me back to Nolan Jones. When the mayor said, "Oh, we don't suspect any foul play," ding, 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 that's a key word for the medical examiner to say, "Well, I don't need to provide the autopsy report because there's no suspicion of foul play where it comes to this," which is an absolute lie. I share with Mr. Willie D what I think happened to Nolan Wells, and I told him, when this comes out, if it comes out, you come back and get me, because I told you. I believe I know what happened to that young man. But that's my own belief. But I can't, we won't know until these autopsy reports come out. And with the FBI, the Department of Justice, there need to be some Supreme Court judges where it is demanded that that information be released. And then once they release it, we're going to compare it with the other autopsy, and we're going to definitely find some error there, because y'all all lie. It's a whole network. I told y'all before, if you watch Your Honor, which is a series on, it was on Netflix a couple years ago, it is for real. That is what they do. And I, along with thousands of mothers, if y'all see that baby, there ain't no way you can't tell me that that boy's death was undetermined. This young man, his face was just swollen beyond recognition. Thank God that my baby took all back shots, all body shots, and his face was not harmed. That I didn't have to have that image of him in death. But it doesn't negate from the fact that they lied, they hid, they covered. I did my own investigation. Hospital reports are conflicted from the coroner's report. Coroner's reports are conflicted with the ambulance report. Like, even the ambulance people lied. I'm sitting up here playing with people because y'all don't want to be caught. So, Mr. Ben, the Attorney General for all black people out here in America, as Mr. Sharp has said you are, you have a responsibility to every black parent out here in America that has been lied to by this network, by these people that we trust to give us accurate information concerning our children that we have to lay to rest at the hands of corrupt members of society. That have a duty to protect and serve our people, whether they like us or not. It's their job, it's their duty. It is Stacy's job and duty to give accurate, honest, clear information. And obviously this has been going on, at least with her, for quite a while. I'm pretty sure if Denver gets to pulling some of these medical reports from this quarter, they'll find out some stuff too. And they knew if they gave me those pictures and that audio that I was going to find out and have solidified proof from a medical expert in regards to what happened to my baby. I thank God that that lady has some muscle behind her. And I just pray to God that y'all don't take it lightly. Y'all have a mandate. Al Sharpton should have never said what he said today, because now America is holding Ben Crump responsible. Justice needs to be served for Nolan Wells and all these other cases across America need to be investigated. But we can start with Nolan. Let's start right there. When I say I'm triggered tonight because I'm a victim of the network. My son, we people too. We're people too. We got families, we got kids, we got jobs, we got dreams, we got bills, we got cars, we got ambitions, we got feelings, we got hopes, we got desires. We're people too. And I guarantee you, had the table be flipped, if it was a little white Bob in the company of 4 black young men, their parents be in jail, their phones would have been confiscated, they would have been in jail, they already would have had charges pressed, and they would have hurried up. They probably would have made up some stuff to make sure that they could get prosecuted. You know what I'm talking about? This boy's mama is a judge. You don't think she ain't connected to the network? Oh, she is. All they phones need to be confiscated and privately, digitally investigated. Woo. I done went from hurt to anger because I am sick and tired of them treating our babies, them ours. We gave birth to them ours. Y'all pray for me. I'm praying for Nolan mama, because I know what it's like. I don't know the daddy side, even though I'm praying for the daddy too. But I know what it's like as a mom That photo that I saw of that young man in the hospital, I'm praying for his mama too. Because them police beat that boy. And Stacy got the nerve to say it's undetermined. She need to lose her job, take her license, and she should not be able to practice nowhere. You're all working together. When I say it's a network, it's a network. You better believe it's a network. My book, Badge to Kill, I wrote about it because that's what they got. They got a badge to gun us down because who gonna stop them? Who gonna hold them accountable? They almost rarely ever get caught. They almost rarely ever get prosecuted. Oh, don't let it be a white cop that shoot a black dude. Oh, they're gonna find something just like they did with my son. They gonna criminalize them, dehumanize them, all the other above. But they all work together. I pray to God that the Attorney General of the black community gets down their throat and gets them people some answers, and whoever involved need to go to jail. That is false documentation. You need to go to jail. All of you involved, the mayor need to be fired from his job. The sheriff need to be fired from his job. The medical examiner need to be fired from her job. It need to be a whole redo of Mississippi. Let's put some black folks up in there. Because we 99% of the time gonna do the right thing. You got a duty and a responsibility. I don't care who's your homeboy. You got a responsibility. You took an oath. Let's see who handed out them licenses down there, too. Because she probably ain't even a real doctor, like Willie D said. Who handed out these medical certificates? Hell, Jenny John could probably go down there and get a license to be a doctor in Mississippi. Whew, we people, too. Nolan Wells is a person, and his mother and his father are people too. I am a mother. All right? I'm a person too. Thank y'all for listening. Y'all keep all of us parents in prayer, because we have been bamboozled by a system. We already don't got faith in the judicial system as it is. But now we can't trust in the medical system either. I learned that with my son. And to think I wanted to be a police. But I'm very savvy at investigation, and I put my fingers to the bone. I put my ear to the street. I will figure some stuff out. I just didn't have the backing. I did not have the backing. And because they knew that, they lied, they covered, and it stayed that way. It's still that way outside of what I've shared and what others, some have seen. There was no rallies for me. There was no news coverage for me. None of that. None of that. Thank God Nolan didn't slip out in the cracks. Excuse me. Thank God that you YouTubers are out there putting it out so they can't ignore. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Willie. Thank you. And what's that man's name at TMZ ought to be ashamed of himself. Harvey, you look a mess. You look a mess. Oh, he'll dehumanize the black folk. But you want to make light of your kind, your people. I hope they get you too. This mama's out here. We need help, Ben. We need help, Al. Because y'all should know better than anybody that they lie, that they cover. And when there is scientific proof that disputes what they're saying, y'all need to be on y'all business trying to assist us that haven't been able to afford those things like that to uncover. That's what the Attorney General do. You got a mandate. He put a mandate on you. Now we expecting you to do something. You do something. My baby in a grave. Do something.